Hello friends and welcome to Prudence IAS. In our first video, we saw the syllabus and pattern for UPSC exam. We discussed how it is important to have a strategy which will depend on your very own strengths and weaknesses. How we must solve all questions at difficulty level 1, whether it is in the beginning of the paper or at the end of the paper. We must reach to the end of the paper in a very good time, and how we have close to 60 seconds to solve each and every question. Now, why I am saying close to 60 seconds? Simply because there will be some questions which you will just not attempt, and there will be some questions where you will spend more than 60 seconds. Some questions which you can solve maybe in 30 seconds and save some time which you can utilize in next question. In this video, I will demonstrate one such strategy using questions from 2017 CSAT exam. We will have questions from all segments of the paper. All different topics will be covered. For example, comprehension, logical reasoning and analysis, and basic numeracy, or rather I'll say mathematics, basic mathematics. Now here we have an example of a comprehension question. This was a question where you have to read a paragraph and then you will have one question from this paragraph which you have to answer. Now this is a very long paragraph and I have timed myself. It takes me 45 seconds to read it from first word to last word and completely understand it. Then I will go over to the question, and when I read the question, it says, which among the following is most logical, rational and critical inference that can be made from the above passage? Now we have had some other phrases as well in 2017 question paper. For example, which is the best explanation, which is the most rational and critical inference, most logical and essential message, most logical and rational assumption, most logical corollary, and what corroborates the paragraph. By this, the point I want to emphasize is you have already spent 45 seconds just to read the passage, and you have come to the question and you find the phrase like what is the most logical corollary, and it just so happens that you do not know the meaning of corollary. Without knowing what the question asks, you cannot solve it, you cannot get to the right answer. But you have already spent 45 seconds. This means two things. One, in your first iteration, do not attempt any comprehension question. Just leave all the comprehension questions in the starting and reach to the end so that you are able to solve the easier questions first. Second, whenever you are reading a comprehension question, read the question first and then go to the paragraph so that it is clear to you that what is being asked, what is it that you need to understand from the paragraph. Otherwise, what will happen that you will spend 45 seconds or maybe 50 seconds on the paragraph, reading the paragraph, trying to understand it, and when you have reached to the question, you have absolutely no idea what is expected of you. You have wasted quite some time and then you have decided, no, this is a difficulty level 5 question and I should leave it. This should not happen in any exam, not only in UPSC CSAT. Even if you are preparing for any other competitive exam, this should never happen. Now we will discuss all the nuances, all the different types of comprehension question asked. What is the meaning of most logical and essential message, or corollary, or what corroborates it, or what is the best explanation? In our video, which is going to be dedicated to the comprehension part. In this video, as we are only discussing strategy, we will move on. Now, going on to next question, I have taken an example of this question. It's a very simple question. The age of Mr. X last year was the square of a number and it would be the cube of a number next year. What is the least number of years he must wait for his age to become the cube of a number again. Why have I taken this question? I have taken this question to highlight a few things. One is that to solve any question or any mathematics question, there are three ways of solving the question. One is elimination. Second, hit and trial. And third, equation or actual solution. Whenever you are solving a question, you should always try elimination first, then hit and trial, and then equation. For example, you have four options A, B, C, and D, and you could rule out C and A by elimination. Then you can apply hit and trial on B. If it works, B is the right answer. If it does not, D is the right answer. Done. Solved. Now, second thing I want to highlight by this is the question section of the UPSC rather is that of basic numeracy, right? So you must be able to identify numbers and patterns in numbers. How is that important? When I see this question, I think straight away that okay, I have 5 square 25 and 3 cube 27. I have a cube of a number and a square of a number, and the difference between these two is 2. Last year, next year, difference of 2 years. So now I know straight away that the age he's talking about is 27 next year. This year his age is 26. Okay, and that next year the number is going to be 3 cube. What is the next cube? That is 4 cube, that is 64. 64 minus 26, 38 is the answer. So it is very important to identify numbers. How can we do it? What I suggest is that you should prepare a chart where you have few things which are specifically related to numbers. One, different types of numbers. We all know that there are prime numbers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, and so on. Do we understand the meaning of all these terms? Because it is very important. If in the question it asks, okay, what is the smallest prime number, what will you do? Do you exactly know? Second, in the same chart, you should have squares of every number from 1 to 10. You should know 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. Similarly, you should have cubes of every number from 1 to 10. If possible, you should have square roots of every number from 1 to 10. Again, you only need to recognize those numbers. You don't have to remember those numbers. So you create the chart, look at that chart every day. Don't try to remember it, just read it through, skim it through. When you will see a question in exam, you will be able to relate, and that is why it is very important. Now, I did not actually solve this question. I just went by hit and trial. I just saw that okay, fine, I have few numbers in my mind: 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cube, and 3 cube. Just struck the card. B is the answer. The second question I have taken is another very simple question. The monthly income of X and Y are in the ratio of 4:3, and their monthly expenses are in the ratio of 3:2. However, each saves 6,000 per month. What is their total monthly income? Now, if I actually go and solve this question, I'll have to write an equation like 4x minus 6,000 divided by 3x minus 6,000 is equal to 3 by 2. I will solve this equation for x, and finally 7x is going to be the answer. This is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it would be to realize that we are talking about total. We are talking about ratio 4:3. individual expenditure 6,000 per month, final ratio will be 3:2. How does this help us? Number one, their income ratios are in the ratio 4:3, so their total monthly income will be divisible by 7. That is our test number one. If I look at these numbers, all of them are divisible by 7. Okay, test number one does not eliminate any answer. Now, test number two, each saves 6,000, so their cumulative savings will be 12,000. So I will remove 12k from each of them. Whatever number is left, that is the saving. Saving is in the ratio of 3:2, so total saving has to be divisible by 5. 28 minus 12, 16. It is not divisible by 5, not the right answer. 42 minus 12, 30, divisible by 5. This is a possible answer. Similarly, if you look at these two do not satisfy the criteria, so this is the answer. Without actually solving the problem, we should be able to locate these type of answers. Now, in our upcoming videos where we discuss individual question types, I will discuss what is the best way to solve any problem. For example, a ratio problem or a percentage problem, how best to approach it. But the basic idea remains the same. First, we do not want to solve the problem. We want to choose the right answer, because that is the beauty of any objective exam. You don't have to show actually how you have solved the problem. You just need to mark the right answer. That can be done without solving it. If at all we have to solve it, how to do that in the easiest way. Similarly, moving on to our next question, we have a very good question. If for a sample data mean median mode, and there is a relation, mean is less than median and median is less than mode, then the distribution is symmetric, skewed to right, neither symmetric nor skewed. When we discuss mean, median and mode, we will discuss in detail what is the definition of mean, median and mode. What does it mean that a data set is symmetrical or skewed to one side or either other side. But here what I want you to understand is, if you do not know the meaning of mean, median, mode, and you do not know what is symmetric and skewed, don't attempt this question. Whatever time you may spend thinking on this answer, you will never get it right. You will never be able to solve it by thinking it or applying any theory. Just leave it. Second, even when preparation stage, in our videos though we will discuss it, but what I want you to understand, that it is important to know the definition of mean, median, mode. It is important to know the user, but to know this in this deeper detail, for a 3 marks question, or rather 2.5 marks question in this case, it is just not worth the time at the preparation stage or in the exam stage. Just leave. Now, moving on, our next question. Suppose the average weight of 9 persons is 50 kg, the average of weight of first 5 is 45 kg, whereas the average weight of last 5 is 55 kg. What is the weight of the fifth person? We have another very good question from 2017 paper. Suppose the average weight of 9 person is 50 kg, the average weight of first 5 persons is 45 kg, whereas the average weight of last 5 persons is 55 kg, then the weight of the fifth person will be. Okay, ideal way of solving is that total weight is 50 into 9. Weight of first 5 is 45 into 5. Weight of last 5 will be 55 into 5. Now, if you will see that fifth person is counted twice in second case. Yeah. So if I deduct minus 50 into 9, I'll get the weight of fifth person. So this is 225, this is 275 minus 450. This is 500, weight is 50. What if I don't want to do all this calculation? I'll still have to solve it though. This is not a question which can be done by elimination method. So in such case, how will I solve it? Very simple. I have average weight of 9% is 50 kg. Now if all of them are 50 kg, the average will be 50. But I know that first 5% average is 45 kg. So each of first 5 people, they are 5 kg underweight. And last 5 people, they are 5 kg overweight. Whatever the difference remains, that is going to be the weight of fifth person, which has been counted twice. Again, I don't have to add or subtract anything. Minus 5 plus 5 plus 5 minus 5 minus 5 plus 5. Oh. So in this case, we have a remainder 0. So the weight of fifth person will be 50 plus 0, which is 50 kg. That is a very good way to solve all questions which are based on average. Of course, we'll discuss this more in detail when we are discussing averages. So in this video, we understood few things: how it is important to have a strategy based on your strengths. Second, we saw a possible demonstration of strategy, how we can go saving time by eliminating or leaving those questions where it takes time for you to decide whether it is a difficulty level 1 question or a difficulty level 5 question. Next thing we saw that most of the problems in mathematics, especially in UPSC, can be solved by elimination or hit and trial, and those which cannot be solved by elimination and hit and trial, they can still be solved by alternative means, which is easier and faster. Finally, we will discuss each and every question type more in more details when we are discussing every single topic. So, thanks for watching, friends, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If there is any topic that you want us to cover, or if there is a specific question that you think is a difficult or is difficult for you, please mention in comments. We will try and cover it in one of our lectures. Thank you very much.